Welcome to my latest experiment. This is the big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
What is it?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Oh my God.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
And there is no one that does it better.
The Guy and Harley Podcast, streaming all over your face.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Pigville on the internet. On Mamas, man, I did it with my own sound, and I got my own city that I hold down. Just admit it already. You got plans to do it, boy, we did it already. Got a couple DMs I done slid in already. Gotta ask Harley Neville if he hit it already. Welcome to the Guy and Harley Podcast. I'm Guy Pigden.
I'm Harley Neville. That was good of
Drake.
That? Of Drake to give me a shout out in one of his hit songs. It's good. Yeah. So he knows who's boss. You know, he recognizes the meteoric rise in my brand, and now he's shouting it out on his songs.
Well, not only did he like it so much, this wasn't even on his own album. He was shouting you out on a featured verse on someone else's album.
Whose album?
YG. YG.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm Harley Neville.
And I'm Guy Pigden. And we have a chock full episode today, probably.
Presumably. Like, we are, after all, it has been 3 weeks since the last episode. so we are sorry about that.
I'm pretty sure it's not been quite that long.
I was away for 11 days, and we recorded, quite a while before I left.
What was it, 11 days?
I was 11 nights I was away.
Okay, I kind of thought it was less nights than that.
Yeah, no.
Like 7.
I was really hoping that we would be able to find half an hour at some point to record a podcast while I was in LA, live.
Yep.
I tried.
Well, I tried too, but I had this little thing called work and sleep to be doing.
Yeah.
Sleep. And you were like, to be honest, the real issue was every night you were out gallivanting on the fucking town.
Hey, now let's just clarify something here. There was some gallivanting. Sure, there was some gallivanting.
Yeah.
But never without a purpose or a goal in mind, okay? Every day, I said before I left, I said...
Every drink you had, you said to yourself, this is for a purpose.
This is
every party you attended. every supermodel's boobs you felt up, you said, hey, this is for a reason.
I was like, I'm doing this for you, Guy.
You go, this is networking right here. This is what it's all about.
So I'm
on the clock.
I did just come back from LA, 11 nights, and it was pretty amazing. I before I left, I said I was going to do something productive every day. That was my goal for while I was there. So that can just be a meeting with some film industry person, or whatever really. And I achieved that. I achieved it. I had meetings every single day, sometimes multiple meetings. I acted in 2 short films.
Yep.
I did 1 press interview and and organised 3 reviews, all of which will be shared on the Guy and Harley Facebook page, facebook.com/Guy and Harley. It was just generally a very, very productive trip. I had an amazing time. It was probably the best holiday I've had in my life. I've had some great holidays, but that was probably the best one I've had in my life. You really missed out, man.
Just we'll add to that. Did not go with your girlfriend.
Did not go with my girlfriend.
Best holiday of your life.
Best holiday of my life.
Couldn't have had a better time. Couldn't be more amazing. Couldn't have wished for anything more.
Well, it was a pretty exceptional trip, I gotta say.
Well, look, this episode is going to be called Guy Gets Increasingly More Irritated by Harley's Tales of LA. That's what's going to happen.
That's what it'll be called. Why? Yeah. Because you're going to fly into a jealous rage?
Yeah, I'm just going to get progressively more angry from envy.
To be perfectly fair, I was completely riding and benefiting from your toil and hard labor. Guy spent
sacrifice.
Guy spent months making this movie, No Caller ID. He conceived it, he wrote it, he directed it. We pulled it together. I contributed, I facilitated Guy, but he was the one doing all the real hard work. Then he edited it, organized like the color grade, the sound mix. I put in some money for that stuff, but I didn't have to do anything else, the score, all of that stuff. Guy was months of toiling away.
Submitted to all the festivals,
including Screamfest. And then I show up, go to Screamfest, and then
bask in the accolades,
post about it online, and to the untrained eye, it looks like I am the creator of this film. So good, yeah. No, I can understand why you might be a little upset.
Yeah. Well, I don't really care about that, but I am sad that I missed out on LA, but. I don't know, I probably would have been sadder if I'd been that much further in debt. If I'd been another $4,000 in debt or whatever.
Trust me, that is the sad thing about this whole LA trip was that I have spent a lot of money on my credit card now.
Yeah.
A lot, a really disproportionate amount.
You go planning to spend a certain amount, spend
easily double. Now, I mean, like, think about it. My accommodation was $1,000. Because I was staying right in the heart of Hollywood. My accommodation was $1,000. My flights were $1,800. So that's just accommodation and flights. Let's not even delve into any spending money. I didn't cook once the entire time I was there, so I was buying shit out all the time. I was Ubering everywhere I went, and that was sometimes quite far because I was meeting people in all different places.
Yeah,
and the traffic over there is real bad and stuff. So just it's not looking good. That's all I'm saying. But look, on the upside, Guy, you are you don't realize what a big deal you are. Because
New Zealand treats me like shit.
Because New Zealand treats you like shit. You're big in the States, bro. Like, honestly, it was easily the best screening I've seen of No Caller ID. It was really full. Yep. Like, heaps of people were there. Big cinema, too. It's a cinema with, like, I think the capacity might be like 700 people or something. Don't quote me on that, but it's real big.
Yeah.
Big cinema, and it was pretty full. And beautiful sound, beautiful everything. It was like a really nice setup for it as well. Great cinema, right in the heart of Hollywood. And everybody loved it. They jumped. There was literal screaming. People. I heard women screaming during the screening. Screaming with fright.
Yep.
And then afterwards there was a big round of applause that went on for a long time, longer than some of the other films. Lots of hooting and a bit of hooting and hollering. Just generally all round very well received. I do wish you could have been there to have witnessed the glory that was No Caller ID.
That's pretty
to
cool.
the American market.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, after the screening, right, we got these 3 reviews are out now. One of them put I'm going to share these all on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Guy and Harley. Go along and check it out, hit like. One of these reviews puts No Caller ID in the top 3 short films for the entire festival. And the ones it was up against, the other 2 that get mentioned, are both really good as well. So, it was a great review. The other 2 reviews we got, actually 3 reviews. 2 of them gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and one of them gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So the worst review it's had is 4 out of 5 stars.
Wow, it's like the zombie film all over again, isn't it? Well, when we debuted at Fright Fest, we got all those lovely reviews, and then it took a fucking nosedive.
It just went a little bit lukewarm. We still got lots of good ones, but we also got some shitters.
Yeah.
Some guys that shit all over it.
Yeah.
The thing is, reviewing is such a fucked up business, right? Because if you write a review of a film that you don't like, then they're not going to share it, right? So if you're like a small to medium reviewer and you want people to share it and hear about it, obviously you want to keep the filmmakers happy because they're going to share it on their social media, which is traffic for you.
It's also a situation too of like, you don't know, like essentially you're getting on the ground floor with these people. So you are reviewing someone who will be the next Guillermo del Toro or the next, you are reviewing, like in all your reviews, one of the ones you're reviewing is that person at the beginning of his career, but you don't know who that is. Now, if you shit on him, guess what? That's not going to work out very well for you in the future.
What's the name of that cunt we'll never work with again? What's that reviewer?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Rutledge. Dan Rutledge.
Dan Rutledge.
Dan Rutledge, Auckland reviewer.
Yeah. Is
Lucky to still be standing, really.
Lucky to still be standing if I ever see him face to face.
You will not do anything. You will not do a thing.
Well, not
when you see you're going to bump into Dan Rutledge at one of these industry events that we frequent, and you are not going to do a damn thing.
I don't know if I'm not. I think
can't-
I'm going to say something. I'm not going to knock him out. But I think I might say something.
Just verbally knock him out.
Yeah, I'm just going to verbally abuse him.
He did give. See, the backstory is that he gave I Survived a Zombie Holocaust our first New Zealand review, and he really shit all over it. But it was a really poorly written review that didn't really justify why he didn't like it. It was more just he just saw a New Zealand film. A small New Zealand film trying to do something original and fucking took a big dump all over it. And it really sucked because it was our first one. So when people Googled, when New Zealanders Googled I Survived a Zombie Holocaust review, the first thing that came up with this terrible review from this wanker, Dan Rutledge.
And also, he didn't just shit on it. He annihilated it. He eviscerated it. He gave it 1 star and said that, I'm pretty sure he gave it 1 star and said that he'd like to give it less than 1 star, but he was also said that he wish he hadn't saw it, and he basically just said that it was the worst, nothing worked, it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And then went and gave Deathgasm 5 stars or 4 stars, the next month. Don't think there's that big a disparity between the two.
No.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
No, we might sound like we've got sour grapes, but
because we do.
Yeah, but that's not true. You dick.
We've got sour grapes because I was like, when this review comes out, for Deathgasm, I was like, well, I guess he'll give Deathgasm a shitty one too, because they're, tonally they're so similar, and he really didn't like the vibe of ours, and there's over the top characters and zany stuff happening in both of them. So I guess bad luck for Deathgasm. And then wake up to 4 or 5 stars, and I was like, all right, this is rigged.
Well,
the election is rigged.
No, it's not rigged. All it is Dan Rutledge gently rimming Ant Timpson. In order because Ant Timpson's a big mover and shaker in this industry.
Yeah.
So Dan Rutledge, it's in his best interest to give Ant a little rimming every now and then. And I understand that because I'm with him. Ant, I'm all for rimming Ant because I think he's done all sorts of amazing things for this small industry of ours. But we see right through you, Dan.
Yeah, but the problem with that review too is that so we get all these great reviews overseas, and then the film commission, the big head honchos, are like,
hold your tongue for a second. Don't say anything bad about the film commission.
Let me finish my conversation.
Are in so much trouble again and again because of you bad mouthing people.
Not really though. Really, not really.
Shit.
So the head honcho of the film commission are like, okay, it's done really well overseas, got all these reviews, but the true test, New Zealanders, Kiwiana, blah, blah, blah. Let's see how the reviews are panning out for that. Oh, 1 star, worst film of all time. Well, guys, I guess it's the worst film of all time, as said by a New Zealander. He would know. He's from New Zealand. This is a New Zealand film. We will now deposit Guy Pigden in the bin. So, it really didn't help at all. It was really very, very negatively affected everything.
Yeah. So, Dan, what we're saying is that you are personally responsible for holding down the careers of fellow New Zealand creatives. You are actively inhibiting the progress of the film industry in New Zealand. And fuck you.
And congratulations. But, that's the thing. I am the next Guillermo del Toro.
Sure.
Of New Zealand.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So
sure, whatever.
Just give me another decade, and you will regret that.
Yeah.
Give me 10 years, and you will regret that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, Dan, is you're on the list.
Well, the thing is,
you're on the list, buddy. You're like number 1 on the list with a bullet.
He's on the very long, extensive list of people that Pigville don't get along with anymore.
Yeah.
The long blacklist. We've been growing it for like 17 years worth of filmmaking. We're still holding grudges from high school against people that didn't work with us.
Of ill will and this one person saying one random like obscure, not very negative comment. You're on the list.
You're on the list. Yeah. Jane Johnson, the principal of our school.
Jane Johnson, she's on the list.
She's on the list because she wouldn't let us film on school property, so we had to sneak on when we were 17.
That's right. She's
on the list.
100% on the list.
She was probably the first person to go on the Pigville blacklist.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dan, you're there too.
Yeah, but you're their number one.
Yeah. So yes. Anyway, it was a resounding success. We did get asked to, after the screening, we got asked to submit to another film festival, and essentially told that if we submitted, we would definitely get in.
Which is cool.
Because so far it's been accepted into 4 festivals. It's got 2 festivals left to go. And now with this extra one, it'll be 3 festivals.
Yep.
And who knows? Have we heard back from all the other ones?
Yeah.
So there's definitely, assuming we get into this one, 3 festivals left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I was thinking what we could do after the festival run is finished, instead of slapping it on YouTube, which maybe eventually we'll do that, but instead of slapping it on YouTube, I reckon we put it up on one of those sites where it's like $1 per play or whatever.
Right.
You know, a pay per play friggin' thing, you know, and just put it up there for $1, because this thing's had amazing reviews. It's never going to get pirated onto the internet, I don't think, you know, so you don't have to worry about people finding it for free, because it's a short film. Nobody's going to do that, I don't think. So we've had great reviews, stories in the paper. What we can do is we can use all of that to convince people that they want to part with $1 to watch it.
Yeah.
And then, bam.
Yeah, well, I
Income.
mean, $1 for 8 minutes. I don't know, it might have to be 50 cents.
Well, it's $1. Come on, people will part with $1. We're not going to tell them the duration at the beginning. We're just going to go.
Yeah, I guess
we're going to go. Do you want to? Do you
want to see this film?
Yeah, we're going to go read this review. Do you want to see the film? Here, $1. You know, I mean, you can't ask for less than $1 because the website will be taking a cut as well of like 20-something cents. You know,
that's true.
So $1 seems pretty fair to me. And to be honest, I mean, I'm pretty sure for most people, the difference between $1 and 50 cents when it comes to watching a watching a movie is so, you know, insignificant. It just doesn't really matter. You know, like I would be no more or less inclined with whether it was 50 cents or $1, because for me at that price, the problem is not the money. The problem is having to get my credit card out and put it in my details and do all of that annoying shit.
So it's to write out the details on your credit card.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the effort that takes.
Exactly. It's not the 50 cents though.
It's the 30-second effort that takes. That's the big thing, the obstacle.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's always good to hear. What else happened in LA?
So I had primary and secondary goals while I was there.
Prime directive.
Goals such as filling out the screening and getting reviews and promoting it and all of that stuff. My other goals were to secure my American representation, because as long-time listeners will know, my girlfriend of nearly 5 years is moving to LA next year. It's all official. She's got her tickets and everything. Green card is approved. It's all happening. So now I'm in the position of either her and I break up, or I follow her over, because I can't ask her to stay here just for me and say no to an American green card and being closer to her family and all of that type of stuff. So,
and the American dream of living under the reign of Donald Trump.
Yeah. I did,
as an immigrant.
I did see. Now, everybody I spoke to over there was very firmly anti-Trump.
Yeah.
But I was in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Where everybody's like a lefty liberal.
Yeah.
And so, but I did see on Hollywood Boulevard, there was a sort of a small group of people holding up big pro-Trump signs going, honk for Trump, honk for Trump. And nobody was honking.
Yeah.
But holding up signs. Like one of them was like "Bring jobs back" was one of the signs. Like, bro, Trump doesn't have your fucking jobs, man. No. Like, he's not bringing. So you're fucking next level retarded. But anyway,
a high school education has that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're going to have to go back.
And so there was a small group of lunatics. Honking for Trump, or like asking people to honk for Trump. But other than that, everybody I met was like anti-Trump. Everybody, nobody, and there was multiple jokes made about Trump, not by me, just by people in general, Americans. So the feeling on the ground over there was very anti-Trump where I was,
right?
Which was a relief. It was nice, because I mean, obviously there was a concern that you'd meet a bunch of people that'd be like, oh, well, I mean, he's got some pretty forward-thinking ideas about the economy. And
Yeah.
Nah. But, the problem is, of course, that it's not the richies up in LA that we need to worry about. And it's not even the poor people in LA we need to worry about, I don't think. I think the people we need to worry about is that those Bible Belt, all those goons in the Bible Belt, those states.
Yeah, it does seem like there is a disproportionate ratio of stupid to smart people overall in America.
Yeah. Not so much the people. Everyone I met was good.
Yeah, everyone I've met, same. I would totally agree with that. But it just seems when it comes to voting,
yeah,
George Bush for
twice
after
voting his dad in the first time.
It just, I mean, I guess on the same token, Obama. So yeah, but it does just seem like how did we even get here?
Now, speaking of Obama, I met him. He made me late for a meeting. He made me late for an immigration meeting, actually.
Right.
So, America, land of opportunity.
So how did you meet him exactly?
Well, look, met is a bit of a strong term.
Yeah.
But I did see him.
Right.
When I say saw him, I mean I saw his motorcade.
Right.
I saw his limo. It's pretty much meeting him.
Yeah.
And so what it was I had to get to this immigration lawyer meeting.
Yeah.
On sort of over the hill while over there, and we started going somewhere in an Uber, and then all of a sudden all the roads were blocked off. Everywhere you tried to go, they were all blocked off, and they just stopped the traffic just like that, and they shut down an entire side of the motorway there, of the freeway or whatever it is, which is huge. That's like 6 lanes wide, and it's in LA. It's LA traffic. Shutting that down was like such a display of power, kind of, and they didn't even care about how the congestion it would have caused, the disasters in its wake. I mean, people probably died. There's probably literally people on the way to the hospital that died,
got held up.
Got held up on the way to the hospital as a result of Obama's motorcade.
Didn't make it because of Obama's motorcade.
And so anyway, we were trying to get there, and just as it happened, it just kind of worked out that we were going the opposite way on the freeway, but we had been stopped, and he came past, and I filmed him. And he had like 20 cars, like he had like an ambulance and like 10 motorbikes and like 20 cars, and like all these like Secret Service like white vans, and it was like something from a movie.
It's quite interesting. I think that I can't remember what article.
I was the most powerful man in the world, and I was a few hundred meters from him. It's pretty cool.
What I read is that because when you quit being president, you still need Secret Service and security detailing for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So the amount of money that's spent on ex-presidents is like enormous.
Yeah.
And this is after, whereas over here, when you finish being prime minister, no one gives a shit.
No. Although John Key might need a bit of protection.
He might.
You're not going to see John Key wandering down K Road
But that's only because he'll be rolling in his
fuck out.
Oh, nice, because he's going to be rolling in his limo,
Yeah.
Throwing garbage at poor people.
Well, yeah, he probably would do that.
So that's why he's going to be in the Herne Bay. He'll be driving the Herne Bay area.
Yeah.
Or being driven. And and then take like what are those not scooters, those things where you don't segways.
Right.
Segwaying his way to places on a red carpet.
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, you got held up by
strange.
Obama. You met Obama.
Yep.
And then what else?
So I one of my goals, right, was securing this American representation. So I had 2 meetings over there with 2 different managers. Now, to get the visa I want, it's called the O1. It's an Alien of Extraordinary Talent visa, and that's what all the actors that go over there to perform, most of them I think are going over on this O1 visa.
Yep.
And it's you've basically got to convince American immigration people that you are this extraordinary talent that America simply couldn't find anywhere else, and that you're like this national treasure back home, and that they should let you come over and work.
It sounds like...
So it's about right?
Yeah.
It's about right. Well, I mean, we're a little underappreciated, but we are a national treasure in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And so, or to the Hardy Hundy at least.
Yeah.
And so yes, anyway, one of the first things you need to do is secure your American representation in the form of a manager or agent over there, because obviously if you're an alien of extraordinary talent, some American's going to want to represent you, right? You're clearly lying if you can't even get an American agent. So anyway, I had 2 meetings with 2 different managers, and they both said yes.
So have you made your choice on that one?
I have made my choice, yes.
Okay, so let's just break down for me how that meeting goes. You walk in, what?
So,
hey, Harley, how you doing? Yeah, we loved you and I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. That was amazing on Showtime. Now, tell me more about what you want from us.
Oh, well, thanks. Firstly, thanks so much for your time. It's so great to be here. Then I basically was like, I was like, where do I sign? Pretty much straight away. She was like, so have you got any questions for me? And I was like, well, not, where do I sign? You know,
You go, how do I
get
this?
What do you need to hear? You know? But no, she was basically like, yeah, I pretty much decided. This is the first one. She was like, yeah, I decided before I agreed to meet with you that the answer was yes, from your show reel and from the rest of the stuff, from looking at your IMDb and blah blah blah. That the answer was yes. So do you have any questions for me, Harley? And I was like, well, where do I sign?
You go, Mike, that is my question, is how do we put this in writing for my visa?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting, because...
So it was really easy. It was far... Because that morning I was quite nervous.
Yeah, I would have been sweating.
Because I had 2 meetings they were in the same day as well. They were just coincidentally, they were both in the same day. So I woke up and I was genuinely pretty nervous because I couldn't have justified going over to LA just for Screamfest. It's an 8-minute film that plays once, and as cool as that is, you know, there's got to be a plan B or a part 2 to this plan in order to justify it. And so I woke up that morning and I was like, fuck, you know, what am I going to do? And I was like, what if she asks me, you know, to do an American accent or something, you know? I was like, fuck, you know, I can barely do an American accent.
You can barely do a New Zealand accent.
I can barely act. And so
throwing a cent on the end, come on.
So I was really worried. But she didn't ask me about that. Didn't ask me about the accent. Didn't ask me about any of that stuff. I did work on my accent while I was over there. I was like, cool, yeah. Harley. The thing was, every time I introduced myself to people as well, I had to do it in an American accent. So they'll be like, who are you? And I'll be like, Harley Neville. And it was like, because if I say Harley, they're like, oh, Harley, like Harley Berry.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Or one girl was like, oh, Holly. Like Holly.
Like a woman.
You know? So I just had to quickly start going, Harley.
Yeah.
But yes, so anyway, I was real nervous that morning. I showed up. It was actually really easy. She was really nice. And then I said yes because I was so excited before I'd even met the other one.
Yep.
Now, I did meet the other one anyway, though, because I hadn't signed anything or anything like that, but I had signaled that I was keen, you know? And
you had signaled by jizzing everywhere that you were quite keen.
Yeah. And so later on that day I went and I saw a second manager, and we met. She was a smaller manager, but she did seem really lovely, and we got along really well, and she was really onto it, had lots of sort of smart things to say. But in the end I went with the first one, which is a much bigger company that has a office here in Auckland as well.
Right.
And that was kind of what sort of clinched the deal for me. Was like, it makes sense to have representation that I can use in Auckland and in LA.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, the Auckland representative of this company is a bit of a mover and a shaker over here. Goes by the name of Gail. You might have heard of her.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
And so she's a bit of a mover and a shaker over here. So it makes sense for me to build up that relationship as well. And also I've already been dealing with her in order to get this meeting. In the very first place, I had to have meetings with the representative over here first. So I had a meeting with my agent, which hooked me up with a meeting with this Auckland representative of this company. And then from there, she organised me a meeting with the LA person, the owner of the company in LA. So it was like 3 meetings to get there, sort of thing. And so yes. Anyway, in the end, I went for that company.
It's interesting because when you phrase it like that, it seems like a no-brainer. that you would get representation. You've been a star in a film, you've shown that you're funny, show that multiple times in some like good ads. It all makes sense to me. And yet, New Zealand just don't give a fuck.
They don't.
Just do not give flying fucks. And so we're made to feel small.
Yeah.
And like pieces of shit, and you're going over there and going, "Oh, mighty manager, please, I throw myself at you out of complete desperation because I'm just this fucking loser." When really you're not. It's just New Zealand is just programming you to think that, or me to think that.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do here.
No, well, it is. It's a different culture over here, and it's a shittier culture.
Yeah. Well, it is. But it's so disrespectful to the arts, I guess.
Well, it is. It's that whole. We're such a small country, I guess, and we haven't really found our identity, and it's such a small industry that you're kind of like you don't really want other people around you to do well unless you're doing well. I
guess it's by relation, right? That's a good point. It's something to do with the idea that because it's really good, Harley. You really thought about that. But I guess it is something to do with the industry being so small that your connection to someone is deepened by their success or failure. And so if they're succeeding, you're somehow failing by comparison, as opposed to they're just succeeding and you might just succeed.
Yeah.
They're somehow intrinsically connected in a way that makes us fucking hate everyone else.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense because obviously what's good for my industry is good for me. So if Gerard Johnston is doing great and directing Terry Teo and Housebound is doing great, well, good. Good for you, Gerard. I'm happy for you. I am, and I wish you the best because what's good for my industry is good for me. So yeah, the other thing as well is like it's so vibrant over there, right? I mean, it makes sense, right? It's Hollywood. It's the heart of the industry. So we are sort of this pale reflection of the Auckland filmmaking scene is like this pale reflection of what it could be or what it should be. And you see over there, you meet people and you talk to them and they genuinely seem interested in what you're doing. You send them trailers and stuff and they actually watch them and give you feedback on them because, and I guess it's that whole thing of like, okay, they're busy, they're doing their stuff, but they are interested in what other people are doing because it's still potentially great networking and I think it's kind of worth it. It's worth taking the time to get to know other people because everybody's doing something interesting and it's in your best interest to get along with them.
And it's, like you're looking to tap into success and talent in a way that
there's a lot of that around.
And I think that in a way that is also very different here. Yeah. Where it's like no one wants to watch anything of anyone else's. It's like they screw up their face and get a little, like fucking poo face. Yeah. When at the thought of potentially watching someone else's thing.
Now, I'm not that much better. I'm actually really bad at watching people's stuff.
You're one of those people.
So I can't be on my high horse too much.
But I try to watch things.
Yeah, so do I. And it's not because I don't want to watch it. It's because I'm lazy when it comes to watching anything. I mean, like, I don't watch...
You're a terrible watcher of things.
I don't watch blockbuster films. So the chances of watching, your, like, B zombie film or whatever is, like, kind of slim,
Yeah. I would say it was more of an A zombie film. But yeah, that's another thing I think is quite interesting. Like, because whenever I submit to anything to anyone over here in New Zealand, I'm mentally assuming they're not looking at it.
Yeah.
And I'm setting up in my head the 3 follow-ups of like, hey, have you seen that thing yet?
Yeah.
Or have you read that thing yet? Like, it's like an automatic assumption, completely right, by the way, that they're not getting around to it. It's going to be like pulling teeth. And eventually, if I harass them and they're so irritated by me kind of pestering them, that one day, in about half a year, they might actually get round to watching whatever the fucking thing is.
Yeah. Do you think, though, that it could also be to do with the fact that the industry here is small and a lot of the stuff we're making is crap? And so people have been burnt before. They're like, okay, yeah, I'll check your thing out, and they watch it, and it's terrible because not because they don't have potential, not because they're not going to get better, but simply because they don't have the experience to make really amazing things. They don't have the money to make really amazing things because the scene is not as vibrant. You know, whereas if you go to Hollywood, everyone's doing it to a really high standard, and so they're more likely to actually watch your stuff because it's far more likely to actually be good if you're over there. Whereas over here, probably, easily a big chunk of them could be quite crap.
Well, that's certainly possible. I think that you'd be wading through a lot of shit either way, like over here and over there.
Yeah.
Like there's more people, there's more shit too. So I'm not sure. And I also do think that New Zealanders, despite us hating each other, have a great propensity for punching above their weight in terms of making things that really are on par with other places. So it's tough to say, but I would just love a bit of that culture over here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, look, forget about it.
You go, forget about New Zealand, forget about it. Look, just fuck off.
No, well, seriously, here's
fuck off to LA.
Here's the plan. I've got my American representation. The next thing I need is these things called deal memos. Deal memos are template letters that come from my immigration lawyer that are signed by American content creators saying that if Harley lived in America, that they would cast me in their upcoming production.
Yep.
So it does have to be for a specific production, which is why it's hard. It's not just, I'm an American and I would cast Harley in my unnamed production. It's I'm an American director, and in 2017 I'm shooting Space Lesbians 6, and Harley is perfect for the role, and I want to cast him.
Yep.
And here's me signing a thing saying that I would cast him. It's not contractual or anything like that. They don't actually have to cast me, but it's just sort of a letter of intent to cast me. So that's the next thing I'm tracking down. So I'm following up all these filmmakers I've met over there and sending them emails and being like, hey guys, check out Older, this is a movie I made. Check out I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, I totally made that too. You really want to give me a deal memo. And so that's where I'm at with that. But so the point is that once I've done that, I don't think it'll be too hard. I've spoken to some filmmakers that were, open to the idea as well, so I don't think it's a big deal. And it's not really any sort of skin off their nose. It's not like they're not lying to the tax man or anything like that. They're just saying that if Harley was there, they would cast me, or at least audition me. And so, anyway, I get that visa. I'm aiming to be there at the end of next year. That's a year from now. That's more than a year from now. So what that means is I go over. I'm the beachhead. All right, I show up, I get myself set up there, I'm making connections, I've already met producers and directors and all the rest of it, I'm already got friends in the biz, right? And then you come over on the O1 visa as well, and as a director though, not as a performer, and Pigville relocates. It's the natural evolution of Pigville. We go from Dunedin to Wellington to Auckland to LA.
Well, look, there's a lot of stuff that makes sense in that concept, to be honest.
Older will be out by then.
Yep.
Older will be out. People will be, we will be in high demand. There will be a claim rolling in left, right, and centre because of Older. And at a certain point, that might be the time to make the leap. You've got the momentum of Older behind you, and it doesn't mean that you can't still do things over here or apply to the Film Commission for funding or do any of that stuff. If anything, you probably get taken a little bit more seriously because now you're a LA-based New Zealand director who has 2 feature films out.
Yeah. Not looking forward to being an Uber driver in LA.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that if you got this O1 visa, you actually wouldn't be allowed to be.
That's true.
You're strictly speaking, you'd only be allowed to earn from directing.
Right.
But the beauty of that is I think there's ways, part of my plan for this next year, before I came to record the podcast today, I was frantically editing a new vlog because I was like, fuck, I really need to increase my online income because I cannot survive over there just off acting work, realistically, unless I get really lucky.
Yeah.
You know, probably I'm not going to be able to. So what that means is I need to be able to earn in other ways. And luckily, YouTube counts as performing, so I can earn money under that way. But you could too, as a director. You'd be directing YouTube stuff. So any YouTube earnings that Pigville has, you know, is you're allowed to have that, and so am I.
Right.
So yeah, the trick would be to merchandising and all of that, you know, building up that online income over this next year or so.
Right.
But yeah, you wouldn't be allowed to be an Uber driver.
Well, that's kind of a relief in some respects.
I don't know, but I'm guessing that you could earn money from Airbnb. I don't know if you could, or if that counts as a job or not, but if you hosted somebody, if you just had a 2-bedroom apartment and you Airbnb'd the other room, I don't know if that counts as like working, or if that's just sort of subsidizing your rent somehow, or what the deal is with that.
Bit of a grey area. But yeah, look, hey, I've been complaining on this podcast for a year, or over a year now. How many weeks is it? 80 or something?
I think this might be episode 83.
You know, at some stage, I should probably just get out of New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Dan Rutledge will be like, see you later.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't come back, dickhead.
Yeah.
Your movies are shit.
If the last 82 weeks is anything to go by.
No, well, look, I genuinely am quite excited by this idea of moving to LA. I'm more excited by the idea of relocating Pigville to LA, because that's really the ultimate kind of, you know, dream, right? Because, I mean, my goal for moving to LA, my biggest issue with moving to LA is that we won't be creating content.
Yeah.
But well, the thing is, we will be, right? Like, you know, like when you were in Dunedin and I was in Wellington, and we still created content.
Yeah.
So what it meant though was that, you know, at the beginning you shoot a whole bunch of stuff and then it's in post-production, or you come over for a holiday and we shoot a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Or I come over for a holiday and we shoot a whole bunch of stuff and get, you know, like max out that holiday with lots of shooting.
Yeah.
Which is what we did. We shot like, you know, 4 sketches on the internet and stuff like that back last time we did it. So we'd kind of do that again, and stay productive in that way.
Yeah, it could work all right. What, anything else? Anything else happened in LA?
Yeah, well, yeah, it did, yeah. Lots of things, actually.
That's good.
I met with, so while I was there, I met with the vice president in charge of casting at CBS. His name is Matt Skrobelak. I think that's how you say it. And he, it was a general meeting. I'd never even heard of a general meeting. And I Googled it before I went. And I watched a very helpful YouTube video.
I was going to say, you watched a YouTube tutorial
I did.
on general meetings.
I did. I literally watched a YouTube tutorial on general meetings.
See, to me, that's a comedy scene, right? Because you think it's so ridiculous. Like, yes, they have a tutorial for everything on YouTube.
Yeah.
Even this.
Yeah.
But actually, this is real, and you did it.
And it was very helpful too. Because essentially it just said, well, what is a general meeting? A general meeting, for those that don't know, is when you go in, you get to meet with these kind of powerful casting people, and you get 20 minutes of their time if you're lucky, and basically you just talk about who you are, what your goals are, and then hopefully they know who you are. They get a feel for kind of how you take up the room and how you hold yourself, and if you seem like you're going to be good to work with. And then and that's really it. And I don't know if it ever leads to anything, but I guess statistically it must sometimes, right? But so anyway, I went in there into CBS. The same lot where they filmed Seinfeld and stuff like that.
You went through security.
Yep, I went through security.
You said Harley Neville for Mr. Skrobelak.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And they looked you up.
Yeah.
And saw that you were there for a reason. It was true.
That I was a big deal actor, a national treasure from New Zealand.
National treasure.
There to see Matt Skrobelak.
Yep.
And so yeah, I went in and basically just like sat down, and it was like a comedy scene as well, because he like sat back in his chair. He was like, all right, Harley, and he put both his feet up on the table and like crossed them up on the table, and just like was like a comical
cigar smoking
TV producer, you know, and he was like, all right, Harley, so you know what, tell me what you got, kid. What do you got for me? And I was like, well, firstly, thank you very much for your time. And then
it's just so happy to be here.
We basically just talked, and it was fine. It was cool. He seemed like a nice guy. The only fuck up I made, or faux pas I made, was he goes, so tell me, what kind of TV do you watch? And I was like, because I don't really watch that much stuff anyway. But I was like, oh, you know, like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, and then I was like, fuck, they're both HBO, direct competitors.
You had zero like CBS, like you should have been
No, I should have known all the CBS shit before I went in there.
Yeah.
But what I quickly half pie recovered and was like, oh, and I saw that you worked on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Oh, I loved that show. That was so good. And kind of recovered that way. And
what did he say about Curb?
he was like, oh yeah, that was a great film. It was back when I was independent, before I was such a big cheese around here. And
because I don't think Curb is not on CBS either.
Is it not?
No.
But, right. Okay. Well,
So you just dug yourself a deep.
no, because he worked.
he worked on
and
it.
he did like talking about it.
right.
And I said, yeah, I saw on your IMDb that you worked on that and blah blah
Yeah,
blah. And so, yeah, it was really good. And anyway, at the end of it all, I was like, I mentioned all the filmmaking stuff that you and I do, and I said about Older and all that type of thing, and he gave me his card, and he said, okay, well, and we talked about YouTube as well, talked about social media stuff, which was of interest to him. And so I dropped in the 11 million views on YouTube, whipped that in there, and he was like, okay, and he gave me his card, and he was like, email me some links, your best links. So I was like, okay, yes, sir. And he was like, all right, now get the fuck out of my office.
Now get the fuck out, Harvey.
And then he was like, oh, you should go have a look around the lot while you're here. Like, go and check out the sets and stuff for like whatever the stages where they filmed Seinfeld and stuff. And I was like, okay, yes, sir. And then I went downstairs and I was to security, and I was like, hey, so Matt said I could have a look around the lot, and they're like, no.
Get out.
Get out. You definitely cannot just be wandering around the CBS lot. You little pissant. Get the fuck out. And I was like, yes, ma'am. and I left. But then I emailed him the trailer to Older and the behind the scenes on Zombie Holocaust.
Oh, yeah, that's good choices.
Yeah, well, the idea being the Older, you know, he's going to watch it because it's got a sexy thumbnail.
Yep.
And it's short. And then if that sort of piques his interest, he can look at the behind the scenes, which would hopefully help him fall in love with the characters of Guy and Harley and what it is that we've created and the struggle and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I sent him that shit. I don't think he watched the making of, but he did reply. We had a couple of emails backwards and forwards, and he was like, "No, I really like Older. It was really cool." And I was like, "Thanks. Well, if anybody down at CBS is in the business of distributing feature films, I'd be more than happy to send him a screener of what we've got." Yeah. And he goes, and no reply to that one.
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, that's great, kid. That's great."
And I also, while I was over there, I found out that Zombie Holocaust is playing on Showtime at the moment, something which was neglected to be mentioned to us by anybody at any point. Producer didn't mention it. Producer probably doesn't know.
No, I don't think so.
But I found out because one of the managers I met with was like, oh, I watched Zombie Holocaust on Showtime. Showtime's a really big channel. Congratulations for getting on there. And it's a premium cable channel. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then it is on there. But they have credited me as Harvey Neville on Showtime. Yeah. So Harvey Neville. Classic.
Anyone wants to look you up, who was that lead actor, Harvey Neville? Can't find him.
Can't find him. Don't give a shit anymore.
You go, well,
I tried.
Was going to offer him a role in our next thing.
Was going to give him a deal memo.
Yeah. I was going to offer him a deal memo. I was drafting a deal memo to him, but now can't find him, just got to give up.
Tough shit.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I can't even get on the Showtime website. Like, you go to showtime.com and it's like, sorry, Showtime is not available in your region. So I can't even contact them and be like, hey guys, it's Harley here.
There are ways around that.
Some sort of magical bloody proxy or something.
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy. It's this app you can download. So I'll show you how to work a computer later.
Hang on, I'll just write this down. App to download.
Yes, I'll show you that very basic application that everyone has except you. But yeah, well, that's good. Anything else? Anything else you'd like to share, Harley? Anything else great that happened to you, Harley?
Okay, I've got a couple more things. Yeah. Okay, these are not entirely related to the film thing, but now I better give a big shout out to Eric Elick.
Yeah.
So Eric Ehrlich is
Composer.
a film composer, LA based, and he is a top man and a talented composer. And I will share I've already shared something of his on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Guy and Harley, but I'll share his composing page as well. So if you are in the market for a composer or just want to keep your finger on the pulse and see what people are up to, I'll put that there and you can go and hit like on it. Eric Ehrlich, he really showed me around, really took me under his wing. He was introduced me to everybody and live streamed because I did an intro before No Caller ID screened. I was like, yeah, I worked really hard on this, pretty much by myself.
Pretty much did this whole thing.
Did this
It's
by
my
myself.
brainchild.
Yeah, and Eric live streamed all of that, and just generally sort of looked after me. And it was also Eric that shot two of the short films that I acted in while I was over there as well. One of which is currently it has been shared on the Guy and Harley Facebook page, but you can see it. It's 15 seconds long, and it's for a 15-second festival, which it's been accepted into. So it worked. And anyway, Eric that was all Eric basically. He just he organised all of that and really, really looked after me. So I cannot give Eric Ehrlich enough of a shout out. He is an amazing man, and I really hope you guys go and hit like on his Facebook page for his composing. Now, you will recall that I mentioned that somebody on the internet had seen one of my poems, Gravity, and said she was going to send me a tablet.
Yeah.
Well, that arrived. She actually sent me a tablet. I have been sent a valuable piece of technology from a stranger on the internet. So thank you very, very much.
And the only thing you had to do was send her a couple pictures of your dick. In exchange.
In exchange. That was all I
And
had
that's
to
a
do.
pretty fair trade.
That is a pretty good deal. No face, right?
No face.
Just the dick.
Just the dick.
Yeah. Well, I do that, guys. If anybody out there is wanting to send me some technology or money, I will do no-face dick pics.
Hook you up a sweet no-face dick pic.
I'll hook you up, and you just have to trust that it's really me, but trust me, guys, it's really me. I get off on it a little bit.
Yeah, but trust me when I say I've spent a lot of time taking these photos, and I really want to give them to someone.
So if anybody wants a dick pic, just go to facebook.com/Guy and Harley. Send us a message.
Oh, shit. You're going to be inundated with
dick pic requests.
Yeah.
Now, this one does involve you, so we can... you.
Oh, that's good.
No Caller ID. The amazing film you put together, No Caller ID, which has more than paid for itself.
Yeah.
Not financially.
Not financially,
but in terms of prestige and honor and publicity and all the rest of it, it's more than paid for itself. Now, last night was Halloween. It was the Halloween screening of No Caller ID as part of the Show Me Shorts Film Festival. And it was screening in Christchurch. And that cinema sold out.
That's right.
Sold out. Sold out screenings.
That heard
the word. They'd heard the word. So No Caller ID sold out. Now look, this is just some inside information for the Hardy Hundy, okay?
It was a cinema of 20.
48.
Well, that's okay.
48 seats in that cinema. But
it's
now
not too bad.
Jeremy Howson, long-time listener, he was there.
Yep.
And he
Jizza.
he said that there was actually a lady sitting in the aisle as well. So that's 49. So not enough seats. They overpacked it by one, and a lady was sitting in the aisle. So another resounding success.
Jeremy did not offer a seat.
Yeah.
He's like, sorry about your damn luck.
Yeah. But thanks for going to that, Jeremy.
Yeah,
And
thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah. So yeah, that was good news. And also, I think that in a big sort of audience, that it's more enjoyable. You know, in a full house, like any movie, is more enjoyable in a full house when everybody's responding to it.
Well, I also think that horror films specifically are profoundly more effective and affecting in the cinema. They you just cannot replicate watching even a great horror film on your laptop or even on a TV. It's just not the same. You just don't get that immersive experience, and it seems somehow lesser. That's what always kind of irks me, that we give out all these screeners to people, and they watch it on their laptop and they go, yeah, all right. And it's like, well, yeah, okay, but could you please go and watch it in a cinema? Could you take the screener to a cinema and watch it, please?
Yeah.
Because that's how it's meant to be consumed, and you know that's really
here's a DCP.
Yep.
Go take this to a cinema.
Go take this to a cinema. Pay $100 to watch this 8-minute thing, if you could, and then come back to us and give us a rejection letter.
Now I've got some feedback here from Jeremy about the screening.
Okay.
He said, "Hey man, I loved No Caller ID. It was really intense and managed to keep the intensity high for its entirety. It was easily the scariest of the bunch. Tell Guy he's a legend and apologize for the hug I gave him at the podcast party." Do you remember that hug?
No need to apologize for a hug. I'm a hugger, so that's totally fine. And I appreciate that, Jeremy. Thank you.
He also said, "No Caller ID had the most impact, I think. It was the only one that afterwards everyone was talking to each other into the next short about it." So, yeah. So good. Lots of good feedback there.
Sweet. Now, just got to wait for that call from the Film Commission.
Yeah.
Any minute.
To be really honest, you should be kind of collating all of this, all of these links, all of these reviews.
That's true.
All of this press that we're getting and putting it all together and saying, "Hi guys," like send it to somebody.
Probably, you're right.
Or at least with the next funding application or something, and being like, "Look, we shot a film for $200. It's gone around the world. It's had universally positive reviews.
Yeah.
It has received publicity from mainstream media outlets, and it's been selling out screenings.
Yeah.
And it's been selling out screening. So you should really be saying all of that, because it is. I mean, you as the writer director, I think, have the most to gain from all of this, like hype and publicity. You know, it's great. So you should really kind of ride that wave.
True.
Like I have been.
Yeah. Yep. Well, no, that's good. That's great to hear. Another win for Pigville.
Another win that does not help us financially in any way for Pigville.
Well, that's what I was having this thought in my head. I was like, yeah, this is all really good. It's all really positive. It's great that the film's worked out well and people are enjoying it. And yet, this zero translation to kind of setting up the next thing is what I don't like.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, you know, I can go on making, I think, quite, you know, good short films for a long time to come. But or films, hopefully, full stop. But if they don't if one doesn't beget the next, it's just going to be real hard work.
Yeah. Well, it is. But
it's just going to make me feel tired all the time.
Yeah. Well, look, before you left, you said to me, "Hey, Harley, make sure you secure funding for our next feature while you're there."
I did say that, yeah.
Well, I've done that.
Oh, good.
So it's okay.
Okay.
I met a guy over there. Now, see, I'm always on my grind, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I have this this personality that makes it look like I'm a lazy slob who does nothing and who is never busy. But actually, I'm always very busy and achieving lots of things. And I'm always thinking about how to...
The Neville effect.
The Neville effect, as it's known. And so what I did was I was staying in Airbnb, right? Now, my plan for staying in Airbnb, I was like, okay, I can stay in a hotel, I can stay Airbnb. They're kind of actually a pretty similar price, but a hotel, I can bring all the hookers and blowback. You know, you can't do that with an Airbnb. You know, I was weighing up the pros and cons. But in the end, I was like, it's got to be Airbnb, right? Because if these people have a house and they live in Hollywood and they've got a spare room and they're Airbnb-ing it, probably they're in the film industry.
They're rich cunts.
And they're rich and they're in the film industry.
Yeah.
And so probably if they live in Hollywood. And so what I did was I did some research on the Airbnb, I Googled their names and stuff like that and figured out what they did. And so both of the Airbnbs I stayed at are in the film industry. One of them was a composer-director and the other one is a producer-actor.
Yeah.
And both of them were pretty good networking. Both of them showed me their stuff, both of which was of a high caliber. Now, the second guy I stayed with, his name is David Wax, and he is the producer-actor, and he has just sold his first feature film internationally, and he has he's getting a deal ready for national and or domestic in America as well. And I watched the trailer, and it's really good. I'll share it on the Facebook page, facebook.com/GuyAndHarley, and it's really good. And he plays the lead character in it. And one of the things that I spoke to him about was he said that he is, as a producer, currently looking for the next script. That, you know, he's got other ideas, he's got things lined up, but he's got funding sort of hopefully lined up for a few different projects down the track, and now he's got to find these things. And so I said to him, cool, I'm going to send you this next script that guy is frantically working on right now. And so now that's your job. You've got to write it. But he's got backers. He's got backers, and he needs scripts.
Well, I better start writing.
You'd better start writing that new horror set in contemporary retelling of Macbeth set in New Zealand gang culture.
Yeah. I'm sure that's going to be right up his alley.
Yeah, well, it does sound a little bit, but I did say to him, I was like, well, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be set in New Zealand. Yeah. You know, it can be a contemporary retelling of Macbeth set in any gang culture.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Yeah, just might not be you and me playing the playing the leads.
That's yeah. Wow, give me $1 million and I'll do just about anything.
Anything.
Writing wise. Yeah, well, while you've been, you know, having the time of your life, I have not been.
No?
Not really. I've just been working away, but I have almost completed the second cut of Older, which is very exciting. It is currently exactly 90 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So there's probably 10 to 15 more minutes to go.
Of editing.
Yeah.
And then there's still a few things that need to be inserted, need to be shot and inserted as well.
Yeah. But, you know, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
105 minutes is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's definitely coming along, and I'm thinking that I may, if I have enough time this week, will be able to finish that new cut.
Yeah.
Although there is some sort of, basically there's sort of 3 or 4 iterations of the second part of the cut of like which order of scenes go where.
Right.
That's a big question.
Yeah.
It's something I'm really struggling with in terms of like, does this scene go here? Does it go there? Do we put this in? Do we not even have this scene? You know, like what the fuck do we do? And this is diverging from the script. Obviously, you got the script version. That's fine, but is it better to go in one of these other directions?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't have those answers, and I'm going to have to give it to other people to see what they think.
Yeah.
Which means they're essentially going to have to watch the same thing a bunch of times.
4 times.
Yeah, like
with slight variations.
Yeah, with slight variations. I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun for them.
Yeah.
So I've been working on that, and I did just want to just briefly talk about Uber driving, because I just want to bring up some Uber etiquette for you all out there that are catching Ubers. This is something that really grinds my gears when someone gets into my car. And it just happened on Saturday. As someone's like, "Hey, bro, have you got a AUX cable? I got to play some tunes." And it's like, well, number one, no, I don't have an AUX cable for you specifically. But certainly, if your attitude is simply that you're going to invade my car and blast your music that I have no say or control over, not really on board with that.
Well, you know that with Uber, I mean, I did this in the States.
Yeah. You can play through the app or something?
Yeah, it's all connected to Spotify.
Yeah.
So if you've got Spotify Pro, which I do, it just says like you're the Uber, and then it goes, "Do you want your music to play?" And you just press yes, and then you choose a playlist from your Spotify, and when you get in, it should be playing.
Yeah.
I only did it once just to kind of see if it worked.
Yeah.
It did.
Well, we're not up to that technology yet.
No, it is. It's here in New Zealand. I've been offered it here as well.
All right.
I've never bothered to do it here, but it does exist. It's a thing.
Well, I don't like it. I'm not on board.
Well, that's tough shit, mate, because you're in the customer service industry, and so
Yeah,
the
but that's the
customer
thing.
is
Is
always
like,
right.
the customer isn't always right. Number one, it's fine if you ask me. If you say, hey, would it be alright if I play some of my music?
You're getting it all mixed up. You're getting it
Nah.
all mixed up.
No, you don't come into my car where I'm taking you somewhere and impose your music on me without even asking. You know, like I'm taking you somewhere. I have to deal with you drunk idiots already. I don't want to have to deal with your music and drunk idiots. Like, it's my choice what I put on in my car.
Yeah, but the future is not going to be like that at all. Like for Uber, I guarantee it. Like the future is that
I'm
it's
not too
becoming
worried
more and
about
more
the
a
future.
service industry where you need to be the best, most amazing Uber driver possible, and then
I can't be the best, most amazing Uber driver if I'm listening to music too loud.
I was pretty but you can choose. You can control the volume.
Oh yeah, but that's what other people do. Is they're like, hey, can you turn it up? Can you turn it up a bit more? Can you turn it up? And it's like, yeah, I can turn it up and risk seriously injuring you in a crash because this music is very loud and distracting and the roads are very busy. But yeah, sure, I can turn it up. I just don't really like it. I just feel like it. That's ones in taxis. You never used to be able to go, hey.
Yeah, but taxis are the past.
But that's the thing. Like
Uber is the future.
Taxis is like a passenger service. We're taking you somewhere. You don't come in and go, hey, can I put on my shit? Don't care if you like it. Don't care about you, piece of garbage.
Again, it's because taxis, they didn't have, like, people didn't have phones with music all on them like they used to, like the times are a-changing and there are going to be more and more customers demanding that, I reckon.
Same I'm sure there will be. I mean,
it's going to get bigger and bigger. And Spotify will start pushing it, Uber will start pushing it, everyone will start pushing it.
But it's just the equivalent of having a tape. And going, hey, can I put this tape in?
Yeah.
Blast it?
Yeah, but it's less obtrusive because it's all done through the phone. So,
I guess it's less obtrusive, but it's the same degree of obtrusiveness to me.
This guy doing it with the aux cable, that's a whole other thing, that's a whole other thing. Because it's a pain in the ass. It's like, well, no, motherfucker, I'm not going to find you a cable and plug in.
Also, I'm listening to my music.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't like my music, you're sort of within your rights to say, could you turn that down? That's okay. I don't think you're within your rights to be... Like, that's the thing. That's another important point. If there's nothing on, that's okay. But if I'm listening to something, it's just a little much. It's just a little much.
Right. I think that that's just part of the course now. I'm afraid that...
it might be, but people should just stop being such pricks.
Your job is to make every 5-minute journey a luxury journey for them.
Yeah.
If you want to maintain your high rating
at the expense of your sanity.
Well,
that's the issue. That's the issue.
That's the service industry. Everybody in the service industry is doing stuff they don't want to do to make other people comfortable.
Yeah, but my job is not to play music for you. My job is to drive you somewhere.
No, but
and get you there safely.
It is, but if you want to maintain a high rating, you're also in the accommodating business, which is why sometimes they give you lollies and stuff. Over, I didn't get one of these, but apparently over in the States they have some party ones, like on Friday nights and Saturday nights. They actually give you booze on your journey.
Well, that's the other issue with
and
Uber.
They have like party lights in the back, like party Ubers.
Because I don't know what the sort of pay rate is over there.
Yeah.
I know in Australia it's like, my Uber friend is essentially making double what I'm making.
Yeah.
And probably working about the same amount.
Right.
So what's very disturbing about New Zealand is it's a litmus test for how badly you can fuck Uber drivers. And like, for instance, just the other day, I signed on to Uber. Oh, you cannot log into Uber until you accept our new terms and conditions. Oh, okay. Well, that's weird. What are your new terms and conditions? Oh, we're taking an extra 5%. Do you accept? Or do you never Uber again? Oh, well, I guess I accept then. I have no choice in that whatsoever. You will just take an extra 5% minus the 20% you took off fares, which means that people's pay from Uber has been cut literally by a quarter since, like, last year. You're making a 1/4 less money or have to do, you have to work 1/4 more, which is... It's very substantial. That's like 10 hours of a 40-hour week. You have to work more to make the same amount as you did last year. And I think it's all these things. It's like, yeah, look, if you're paying me really well and treating me like not like a piece of human garbage, then there's a real high motivation to have music playing, you know, in the car or whatever, on buying candy and stuff like that. But if you're kind of like paying someone fuck all and like really not giving them any kind of extra resources to fix their car, maintain their car, you know, keep it clean and functional, and then going, yeah, and you didn't have any lollies, that was a bit of a disappointment. It's like, well, if you, like, you know, if I've got money to spend on that stuff, I would happily spend it. But yeah, Uber are not very nice. That's all I'm saying. Not in New Zealand anyway.
You know, the Uber driver, one of my Uber drivers in America got me blazed.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, man.
I gotta tell you, I gave her 5 stars.
Well, I guess that's the issue too, because I do hear, like, you know, in Australia it seems to be, where it's legal, it seems to be really lucrative for people.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, doing the maths and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it cannot possibly be lucrative on the rates that we're at here.
Yeah.
You know, I work at the busiest times, and I sort of now know the lay of the land, and it ain't that great. And you do have to drive your fucking ass off. And, you know, and it's getting progressively worse. And I think they're searching for a point. Like, they're not interested in doing this in America at the moment. But in New Zealand, they're searching for that point where they hit that right mark between the maximum profit for Uber and ultimate revolt in their drivers. As in, all these drivers go, nah, fuck, it's not worth it. Can't do it anymore. And they're just searching for that. And so they're continually sort of edging closer to that revolt and seeing wherever that will happen.
Yeah.
And of course, you have to push pretty far because most people are like fully committed to this. Or they, you know, like, there is no viable alternative to the way that they use Uber to make money.
Why don't you become a taxi driver?
Well, that's
you've
the
got
thing.
half the qualifications in a car. So
The reason I don't become a taxi driver is because Uber is destroying the taxi driver market.
Yeah.
So whereas if, you know, like a few years ago I became a taxi driver, I absolutely am very confident I'll be doing better, right? But because Uber has taken maybe at least 50% of the taxi share, that means that there's just less fares, less rides, less everything to go around. And, like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm driving up to somewhere knowing that I've got my ride. My ride's going to get in the car and I'm going to drive away and I'm going to make some amount of money, regardless of how pitiful that may be, right? That taxi driver could be waiting there for an hour. Yes, his rate is 3 or 4 times mine, but it doesn't matter because he sat there for an hour, effectively destroying that thing. Again, there's that thing is like, yeah, he did fuck all, and you did have to work like a bastard as the Uber driver, but you still had those rides. So it doesn't really, at this point, until some new regulations come in or whatever, there's, like, I don't think you'd make any more money as a taxi driver. And in fact, I think you'd be, like, they're in just as desperate a different situation.
Yeah.
Thanks to us. Thanks to us Uber drivers, and thanks to Uber's disruptive technology and blatant disregard for law. But anyway, that's my Uber story.
good. Uber complaint.
Uber beef.
Guy's weekly Uber complaint section.
Well, if you ever walk in, because that's the other thing. The other thing I don't like is it seems, even though it's completely illegal, it seems very understood that you can just drink in an Uber car. You know, like people will just sit down with open bottles of beer and just like, hey, how's it going, mate? Guess what? That's like a $1,000 fine, and you get taken to court for that.
Who, you or the customer?
No, the customer has no responsibility.
Right.
So that's just you. That's just the driver in question.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like in taxis, they're kind of like, yeah, of course, you see the taxi rules. Obviously, you know, there's no drinking or eating in the car. Not even talking about alcohol. Don't even have a sip of your Coke, right? But in Uber, it's like, hey, we're all fast and loose here. You're my Uber driver, bro. Yeah, come and have a drink. And, like, you know, you hear this bullshit from some people. Like I said to a group, I was like, no, don't open that beer. And they're like, come on, man, what's your problem? How about a little tip ski, a little $10? And I was like, it doesn't matter, like, unless you're going to tip me $1,000 right now for the potential $1,000 fine I'll incur. And they're like, oh, it don't matter, man, we'd pay for it. You know, and it's like, you guys would throw me in the ground and bury me 6 feet deep if you could.
Yeah.
You would never, ever pay someone's, like, if I go, hey, man, we got caught, so I'm expecting $300 from each of you.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no obligation for that, but I'm just telling you that's how much the fine I got for when you were drinking in my car. No one would put their hand up and go, oh, yeah, sweet, bro, here you go.
No problem.
They go, hey, you're on your own. You shouldn't have let us drink.
Yeah.
So that's my second Uber beef.
Right.
Second Uber beef. It's my 2 Uber beefs. But look, all I'm saying is, if you're going to get in the car, you want to play your music, just ask. Don't demand. Don't just be like, where's the cable to put the thing so I can press my thing, and fuck you.
Good luck with that. I think it will just keep happening. Now, speaking of sort of new technology and apps and all of that stuff, I met with Rhiannon, who is one of the lead actors in I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. So go check her out, Rhiannon Johanink. Give her a Google. She plays the sort of the sexy one in I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. Yeah. And she was telling me about an app that she uses over there. It's called Circus. Mm-hmm. And essentially, and the beauty of it is it fits under casting. It's earning-wise, it fits under a performance. So I could do this theoretically. But what it is an app where people who want people to attend parties post there. So it's like a sourcing? Not crowdsourcing either. What's that word? Where you hire a crowd style thing. Where, you know, so you hire a crowd, right? So the idea is, it goes, there's a party at this bar on this date, and we will pay you $50 to attend. Yeah. You get paid $50 to attend the party and a $10 Uber.
Tough gig.
So, and that's it. You just have to hang out for a couple of hours, and you can drink or not drink or whatever. That's up to you. But you get $50 just for showing up. And she showed me the app, and like some of them were like $10 each, some of them were 15, some of them were 50, some of them were 1,000 to attend. You know, and so obviously everybody puts their pictures on this app, and then and gets paid to show up to these cool parties.
Now, do you consider there may be some disparity between the parties that people wish to pay you to attend versus the parties they wish Rhiannon, who you just described as playing the sexy one, and I Survived a Zombie Holocaust?
Well, that's the problem.
There's some short bald guy who's not top of their list of attendees.
Well, it is true that they might not choose the short bald man in his mid-30s to attend the party.
This Costanza-looking fellow.
But so you put your pictures in, and then there's all the parties, and like she talked to me quite frankly. I was like, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously this is going to work a lot better for you. You know, like it's going to work a lot better for you than for me. And she's like, oh, I don't know. They might accept you for some of these $10 ones. And even then, I was like, yeah, maybe.
The old classic insult, but you don't really realize you're gravely insulting someone. Yeah, you're probably a $10 attendee. Yeah, by the look of you. Well, but your general appearance, you're worth about $10.
The thing is, I think that I doubt I'd even get those, because I mean, come on, when if you're a bar or you're having a party and you want to ensure that there's going to be people there, and you're going to set aside say $1,000 and give $10 or $20 per person to attend just to pack it out, right? Yep. Say that's your budget. You know, you're pretty much always going to choose the sexy women.
There's no reason to choose guys.
There's no reason to choose guys, let alone schlubby, normal everymen. Yeah. You know, in fact, that's what you want to avoid at the party. Yeah. That's why you're using the app.
And that's why you're having a party, is to like kind of elevate yourself above those people.
Exactly. And so there's the old rule, the old adage, girls attract girls. Yep. You know, and so you have a party, and you've got all the hot girls there. They're going to be bringing their friends, even the ones that are not getting paid. And then as a result of that, you know, lots of the cool dudes, the cool rich dudes are going to be there because there's all these sexy babes there. You know, there's just really no room in the market for me, for the likes of me. But that being said, I will download the app when I get over there, and I will put my name down for some castings, because if I can, because I'll be desperately short on cash while I'm there. So if I can get paid $10 or $15 and they pay for my Uber, and I have to go and attend a party and meet people and network, well, it's not so bad, you know. The problem is you buy one drink or two drinks and you've spent your money, you've spent your $10.
Well, also, if whether or not you're a guy or a girl, if you walk into a party with 100 beautiful women and like 0 guys, I feel like you're going to be happy. Much happier than if you saw 100 men.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Even if you're a woman and you saw 100 men.
I mean, like, best case
you'd
scenario.
be like, whoa.
Yeah.
God.
What's that smell?
This is wrong.
It smells like penis in here.
I feel like I'm stepping into a forest full of cocks.
I'm walking through a forest full of cocks.
As Julie said at our last party.
Yeah. For those that listen to the bonus episode. So I mean, even if you're having a party and you do want to invite some men, you again you're going to get the ratio right. You're going to go 75% women, 25% men, and they're going to be
John Hamm looking dudes from Mad Men.
You're going to choose the good looking, well-to-do looking dudes.
Yeah.
Now, and a part of that, an element of that is just faking it online, you know?
Yep.
Like I'll be standing on a box or something for my pictures, you know? I'll be, just...
Lifts in the old shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Get some lifts in my shoes, and I'll be wearing a hat or something.
Yep. Cool hat.
Maybe Photoshop the wrinkles out slightly, just back them down a little bit, lie about my age.
Cool dude hat, not because you don't have any hair, but just because you're a cool dude that wears a hat.
Exactly. Now, so you might be able to get a gig or two, you know? And presumably once you do get a gig, there you get a rating or whatever as well, because you showed up on time, you did the job. So, you know, you might be able to wangle your way in there and start getting into some of these parties and getting paid to attend.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an achievement.
Well, it
sort
is.
of.
Yeah. If
on paper, it looks like an achievement.
I
get paid to attend parties in LA.
Yeah, based purely entirely on superficial looks-wise, it's an achievement.
Although presumably you do have a bio, so presumably you can read the bios of people and be like, oh, this guy's a successful alien of extraordinary talent.
It's probably like Tinder though. There's no bio reading that you're looking at a picture. If you like it and you accept it, and then you look at the bio, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, you're coming over too, right?
That's true. But yeah, I'll be in the $10 bin with you, mate. So there's no need to worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should probably wrap it up.
Okay.
But there's been some interesting tales. I'm now suitably angry and we can log off.
Okay, good. So if the listeners would like to help us with our adventures, there are a few ways they can do that. 1, go and hit like on the Facebook page, facebook.com/GuyAndHarley. 2, watch our YouTube videos. Go to youtube.com/Pigville2. Pigville 2, that's annoying. But just search Pigville on YouTube and you'll find us. And watch our videos. We do get paid every time you watch a video. So if you want to help us, all you have to do is watch our content. 3, go to patreon.com and search for Pigville. Patreon.com, search for Pigville. You can sponsor us there. You can choose to give us $1 per video we put out with a maximum of 1 video per month if you want. And that really helps us too. We're currently at $12 or $13 per video, which is pretty good. That we put out. We just haven't been releasing any content lately.
Yeah.
But when we do, we'll be getting $12. So you can do that, and of course find us on all the other places by searching Pigville, Twitter.
Let's not forget writing
Instagram.
a 5-star review on iTunes.
That is very important.
I haven't logged in to check if anyone's made that. But we need more 5-star reviews on iTunes so more people see us in the algorithm, more people listen to our tales and become part of the Hardy Hundy.
Exactly. So, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
You've been listening to the Guy and Harley podcast, proudly brought to you by Pigville Productions.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.